Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be connecting in with you on the author's journey, where we come together and we talk with amazing best-selling authors that have successfully brought their book forward and had it so powerfully received that it became a bestseller or above. And so what we do on this show is we have the opportunity to pull back the curtain and have really candid conversations with the authors of what helped them bring the book forward from idea to reality. How did they make it a bestseller? What did they learn along the way? So we can learn from leaders and experts as we lean in to bring your books and your messages forward. So welcome, everybody. We're thrilled and excited to have you joining us. We have two amazing leaders, dynamic, powerful women that have come together to bring a powerful book forward. And it was received so powerfully, it actually became a #1 international best-selling book. So I'm really excited to see where our conversation goes, to learn from them, not only how they have been able to bring a powerful book forward like they have, but what it takes kind of behind the scenes to create a book, to work together to bring something forward that can have such a powerful impact and be so successfully received. So I'm very excited for our conversation, thrilled to have you joining us. And I want to make sure you as a listener get the most out of our time together today. So I'm going to encourage you to do a couple of things. One, let's take a breath together. In through the nose, out through the mouth, like through a straw. Beautiful. Sometimes we're just moving so fast, we're not truly being present and tuning in. And so I want to encourage you to tune in, be fully present, keep breathing. This is a time for you to be poured into and receive information and insight to support you on your journey. My second tip is to have a piece of paper ready. Be ready to take notes. You're going to have great tips and advice and things that will support you on your journey. And I want you to capture all of those. So I encourage you to have a paper and pen ready so you can take notes and you can see how to lean in and connect on a deeper level with our authors. And during the breaks, the commercial breaks, take a moment to check in and see what additional insight is bubbling up within you as you're listening and taking in this powerful information and perspective and insight so that you can really integrate all that serves you on a powerful level. So have your paper and pen ready. Take a breath, and let's take another one. I find we don't breathe deeply enough, or I need to remember to. So I appreciate you all taking a breath with me. And take a moment as we're centering in, getting our paper and pens ready. What is it that you need today? What is it that's going to encourage you and empower you? What are you looking to discover and learn? Because you chose to tune in today. So there's something here for you. So let's feel into what that is with curiosity and openness and receive that information. And I encourage you to write it down on your beautiful paper with whatever writing utensil you like best. Beautiful. And as we are connecting in, I wanted to take a moment to introduce our amazing authors that are joining us today. And they just recently published their book, launched it, made it available in the world, and that is a super busy time. So it's a really a privilege and an honor that they carved out time with us to both come together and share with us during that peak busy time. So we get to have a really unique perspective of what it's like to have just released the book, be coming together, and what are they doing now and doing next. So I'm really excited to hear what they have to share, and let me just take a moment to introduce them to you. So Martha Hanlon is a forward-thinking expert that helps businesses create an easier, simpler, and more profitable business. She's fun and engaging. I know you'll find that today, and a bit irreverent. Martha takes business leaders beyond the perceived roadblocks. She's founded 3 marketing companies and worked with more than 5,324 companies to build and advance, so build brands, advance leaders, and help them make more money. She has an MBA from Wharton School and is a sought-after writer, speaker, and trainer, #1 international best-selling author multiple times over, and wants to help you create a simpler, more profitable business that you love. Please lean in and warmly welcome the dynamic Martha Hanlon to the show. Welcome.
Rebecca, thank you. I'm going to hire you to do all of my introductions from now on. Thank you very much. You're very, very kind. You're generous. Thank you.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us and excited. And just listeners, that was just a snapshot, just so you know. There is so much more you can lean into and discover. And I encourage you to do that. And I wanted to take a moment and just have you share why. Why is this work that you do of helping businesses in the way so important to you and something that you've dedicated so much time and energy and continue to? Why is this work important to you?
Now, for years, probably like many of your listeners, I worked in corporate America, and what I discovered is the real joy is with smaller businesses. And I don't mean teeny tiny. I mean $500,000, 50 million. Those are still small businesses, and they rule our world. And almost all of those businesses were birthed because someone had a real specialty. They were a great chiropractor, they were a great care manager, they were a great veterinarian. They were wonderful at some skill set, and they started a business. But they don't have business background. And so my enjoyment in working with our clients is that we get to open the path for them to not just become business owners, but to become business leaders. And people don't always think that that's an ascension from owner to leader, but it absolutely is, Rebecca. And there's so much in it for the owner to make that ascension. And that's what I'm about, and that's what Chris is about.
Thank you for sharing that. And I just feel like that is such a powerful concept and advice or thing to think about already, that shifting from business owner to business leader, that you can lead the business, and that can be such a powerful shift. And I love that reminder that these small businesses are just the backbone of our country. And here's an opportunity to support them and bring their unique skills and talents forward in a powerful way. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
And then Chris, I'm excited to have you joining us too. So I wanted to take a moment and share just a little bit about you as well. And again, this is a snapshot. There is so much more that you can dig into and learn about Chris as well. And I encourage you to do so. So Chris is an expert in generating customers and boosting revenue for small to medium-sized businesses. She is a sought-after international speaker, business consultant, and #1 international best-selling author, also multiple times over. Since 2008, she's worked with over 6,102 business owners, and they've relied on her expertise and that of Wide Awake Business to boost their revenues by more than, and I want you to hear this number, more than $731 million. Powerful shifts. Chris's style connects and encourages action-making businesses so they can take actions, help them do that, to have their businesses be easier, simpler, and more profitable. She is passionate about helping businesses transform their bottom line. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Chris Williams to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was sweet.
You are so welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to ask you the same question. Why is this work that you do in helping businesses and leaders, why is that just personally so important to you?
Well, Rebecca, I am a mother of 5, and raising 5 kids and running family businesses has been my life. And I made a commitment many years ago to figure out ways to create easier, simpler, more profitable businesses. And our business owners, I was just talking about them this morning and going through it with my team. You know, they are doing some incredible work. And one of our most newest clients, he's 32 years old. He runs a $600,000 business. He kind of did it by his bootstraps, and he's working 60 hours a week, and he has no life. And someday in the next year, we'll look at him and go, wow, he actually took a 2-week vacation. He actually got to work out. He actually got to get back in the dating scene. And that's what it's all about. It's all about creating easier, simpler, because it doesn't need to be that hard.
I love that. And to me, it sounds like you help people get life back into their life as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so important because it is businesses can take over and become your life. So I love that you're helping bring some of that balance in and helping them while doing that, increase their bottom line, make it easier and bring their business forward and themselves forward powerfully. So I just celebrate the work that you do. I'm very excited. And listeners, what I want you to be hearing is as you're getting a little bit of a feel of Martha and Chris, these are powerful, dynamic women and leaders that are making a big difference in our businesses and in our leaders. And that's really exciting. And they have come together to bring several books forward. So we're setting the stage so you know a little bit about them. And when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to dig in and learn a little bit about their most recent book and what it took to bring it forward, what they discovered, tips and advice. So you're in for a treat. And we will look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit SamYaoPoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, Poetry.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you, an opportunity to just kind of take in information, breathe, and really receive everything that is here for you. Hope that you're excited to learn from our amazing Chris and Martha as we lean into the conversation now that you know a little bit about them. And I wanted to, there's so many things that we're going to cover, but I want to start with their most recent book, Rise Up Leader. And so I didn't know if Chris or Martha, which of you would like to start sharing why this book?
Well, I'm happy to jump in, and
Perfect.
then I'll tag team Chris. So why this book is similar to what we were talking about just a moment earlier. There are such brilliant, wonderful business owners out there, and they are called to their profession to serve so many folks, and they become, sort of accidentally, slaves to the business. They're working 60 hours, 80 hours a week. The family would like to see them. You know, the lights are on if you're working at home when everyone's gone to bed. And they have a hard time sometimes delegating. Sometimes they have a hard time seeing how their business can grow. Sometimes they have a hard time understanding how controlling the business is actually, in many cases, letting go. And all of that is about stepping into leadership. And so what we know from our clients, Rebecca, is that they want to be on this journey. They want to ascend beyond owner into being a leader because it's more powerful for them, because we start always in the book with lead yourself, because if you don't lead yourself, nobody's going to follow you. Second, lead your team. And third, lead your legacy. And your legacy is about the business that you're growing and what you do with it, the brand that you're building. And this work, we watch it, Chris and I watch it every day, changing human lives, family lives, business lives. It's time to share it.
Thank you. And that's so exciting that you've been able to put some of those best practices and ways that we can rise up as leaders and shift into that position, and that you're making it so accessible and available to so many. That's exciting. And then, Chris, I didn't know if you wanted to add to that, if there were additional thoughts as to why this became an important project to bring forward.
Well, probably the only piece to add is that, business owners get dragged into day-to-day activities all the time. And at the end of the day, they have little time to lead or little energy to lead because they're busy doing. And when the entire organization is moving in the right direction and we're rising up those around us, which is good for the entire planet, we really demonstrate how you can lead and get more accomplished.
Beautiful.
And
thank you for sure. And have a life. I love that.
Right. 92% of our clients increase their revenue. 86% of them actually increase their profit margin. And the most important number is 53% of them took a vacation. And we measure that and we talk about it. And we have to make plans. Like, come on, you have to refresh. You have to refuel.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I love that is considered just as important as some of those other metrics that are being measured. So, because I think sometimes we don't make it that important, and then it becomes critical. So I love that you help in all of those areas and bringing them forward, and that you've created a book to help people in this way. So this book, Rise Up Leader, became a #1 international bestseller. It received best-selling status in 4 countries, 32 categories, and #1 in 4 of those categories. So huge, huge success received around the world, really powerfully. To me, that's always a great indicator of how needed the book is when it's received so powerfully, and that both Chris and Martha were committed to helping the word get out there so people knew about their amazing book and could lean into the resource, because there are over 2,000 books being released every single day. And if people don't know, I know it's a huge number. If people don't know about your book, then they can't lean into it. It can't create the transformation in their life that it can. And that's one of the reasons we're a big proponent. And we really believe in best-selling campaigns and doing something, whether it's a campaign like that, but somehow that you are getting the word out about your book so that it can rise above the noise and be seen. And that's something that Chris and Martha have done, and it was so powerfully received. So I appreciate that. I just want to underline that, because it doesn't happen without a plan. So for those authors out there, make sure you have a plan, a way that you're going to bring your book forward, that people know about it, that they can lean in. And speaking about planning, both of you are so great at strategy and bringing things forward. And I also think it's very unique that you're co-authors. And so I wanted to just talk about that a little bit. As co-authors, how did you find, or do you have tips or advice to help people who are thinking about having a co-author to work together to bring something forward on time and in the way you want it to be, and honoring both of you?
Well, I just want to add one little part before we get into like the details of it, is that Martha and I were just talking with another person who's starting his first book. And we were talking about that all of our content we've done, demonstrated, trained on, worked through for a couple of years. So it wasn't like we sat down and go, oh, here's some brand new content. And, you know, Martha's brilliant because she's our avid writer. You know, she pulled it all together. And I love it that it's tried and true and tested. It's not like we just sat down and made up some new content. And so I really think that that was one of our, gifts to get it out the door, was that we've used the content. It's real content, and it really works.
Yep.
So there you go, Martha.
And I love that because it's not just theory. It's something that, you know, this is what you do, your expertise, and we're able to bring that forward. So yes, Martha, we'd love to have you share.
I think sometimes when you're writing with someone else, there's two ways of doing it. So the first way is the one that Chris just talked about, which is this material. And so for some of your readers, this might be a great example for them. This material was created because we've been delivering it in workshop form when we're coaching with clients in all kinds of different ways. It wasn't just something that we sat down and said, hey, you know, let's write a book. What shall we put in it? I don't know. We knew, because what we were doing was kind of codifying something that we can deliver to 10 people, 100 people. But the power of a book is you can take the same material and touch thousands, millions of people. So I think the first method is what we've done, which is you deliver something in a format that works for you, and then you put it in a book. I think, and Chris and I created the original content. I wrote it and put it in the book. So option one. Option two, which we often see in many of our clients, is somebody writes one chapter and the other author writes another chapter. And you can do that in a way with a plan that sounds like those chapters belong together, or you could write them in very distinct voices. But no matter what you do, I'm going to come back to something you said earlier, Rebecca, and that's have a plan.
Yes. Thank you.
Have a plan for how you want to bring the book forward.
I love that. So not just both, let's just randomly start writing and new things, but really come together what we're writing about and putting an outline, a plan together to implement. And I love that there's those different options of having one be more of the focused writer pulling the content together. So other times people can take turns writing chapters or sections in the chapters and weave them together. But you want to have a plan, talk about it, make sure you're moving in a common direction. Anything either of you would add to that?
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Okay, great. Yep, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify who to add things to.
I know.
So I apologize.
So one of the things that when we're speaking in public, one of the things Chris and I will always say is that we both love a microphone. So it's always good, Rebecca, if you point your questions towards one of the two of us, because otherwise we'll be like, no, I'll do that.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Chris and I know how to dance together. We have been working with each other as business partners since 2008. So we know the dance. So I think that's a pretty thorough answer, and I would encourage your listeners to figure out the best plan for themselves in terms of how this book can be taken out of them. Sometimes it flows, and we can't stop writing, and other times we feel like it needs to be yanked out of us. But either way, have a plan for how it's going to write if you're writing with someone else.
Perfect. I love that. And then one other piece I wanted to touch in on your book is the cover design. I know there's a lot of thought that goes into creating the cover. You had a very beautiful, unique cover that you created that I felt like really stood out in the business arena in a powerful way during the campaign. So I'd love for you, Chris, if you'd like to describe the cover and what your thoughts about why those colors were chosen, the design, and describe it for our listeners.
Well, the cover is super fun. So all of our covers have included people on them. So all three of our books have people because the book is all about people, right? You don't want to take that out of the picture. What we love about the arrow that's pointing up on the book, so it's this broad arrow, and it's filled with people, and people are walking to the arrow, and people are standing in the arrow, and they're all people from every walks of life. I mean, if you look super closely, there's a chef on there, and there's a veterinarian, and there's a doctor, and, there's some business people. So there's every walk of life, and we really look at these times particularly, and it's time for leaders to rise up. And so hence the title, Rise Up, Leader. We really wanted to make it an action-oriented book. And we picked the color yellow because we have a really brilliant designer. And she sent us Amazon bestseller, mock-up of all the books that made Amazon bestseller. It was just a mock-up, a pretend pictures, and we had all these different colored books in it. And it was so clear that yellow was the color because it stood out, and we feel like Rise Up Leader is so important. I mean, it couldn't even be more important in this time and this day. So
Beautiful.
That's why we picked the cover and the color and the arrow that points up with everybody jumping on the arrow.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. And I love that you looked up mock-ups and compared and kind of saw what called to you when we were considering colors and the elements that went into the design, what you were conveying, what was important to represent. So I think that's really powerful. And then, Martha, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I think Chris nailed it.
Beautiful.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty.
Yes.
It does. It does. Yeah, and you want to have the cover be visually appealing to the people that you are looking to reach. That's really important. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, listeners, I want you to think about, what is your plan? Whether you're writing a book on your own or you're working with others, what are some elements in that plan? What are you trying to bring forward? And then what are your thoughts around that cover and what it represents? What does it need to bring forward? And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit SamYaoPoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, Poetry.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes just for you, that you had an opportunity to think about, what is my plan? What am I trying to bring forward? What are some of the best ways to do that? And what do we want to make sure you include in the book that you're creating and you're bringing forward? So Martha and Chris shared a little bit of how they navigate that dance in bringing content forward. And they actually have helped a number of clients also kind of pull that book out of them to bring it forward. And they have the top three things that you can do to pull that book out of you. So I'm really excited to have Martha, if you could take the lead on that and give us the top three things that you feel will really help clients, help our listeners pull that book out of them and bring it forward.
You bet. I'm happy to, because I think these three things can seal the deal for everyone, whether that book is flowing out of you or you're kind of stuck. Here's the number one thing, and I want everybody to write this down because this is a game changer. Number one's the game changer, and it's this. Have a publishing deadline that somebody else gives you. Because if you're playing with your book, if you're writing your book, if you're, addressing it periodically or when the mood strikes or when you're sitting in front of your computer and you've got a blank screen, when you have a deadline to publish the book, so that means that not only is it written, but it's been edited and you have your book cover and you've got your marketing plan. When you have your date that somebody else has given you as opposed to you, because you're going to move the dates around if you're not on top of your game. When you have a date, you will hit the date. So that's the first thing, and it makes a world of difference. The second thing I would say that can really help to get a book flowing is just write the outline. Just start with like the table of contents. Write down all the things that you think you're going to talk about. Don't worry, it'll change. The order will change, but just put down the order of the content. And if you want to put them on flashcards, that's great. Remember flashcards. You can flip them around and rearrange the order really easily. And then the third thing that I would say is write your favorite chapter. It doesn't matter the sequence. It doesn't matter if the first chapter is your favorite piece of content. It doesn't matter if it's the last. Sit down and write your favorite, most comfortable part of the book first, because now you're in motion. Now you're in motion, Rebecca. So those are the three things I would say will help any author get rocking and rolling.
I love it. So powerful. I love that. So I was writing things down. So I love that. I love the set the date that someone else sets. And then, and I would have them help you kind of reverse engineer that, because you were mentioning all those different pieces, the editing, the formatting, the cover design. So, when the content needs to be in, because it may be different than what you're thinking. So when you're setting that timeline, that date, that you want to launch, you want to publish, that someone else sets for you, you're right. It helps it become real and you take action. I love that. And then I love this, getting the outline and allowing it to move and shift around as it does, but at least you're kind of getting it out and organized. And then this, write your favorite section first, so you're in motion, you're starting, and don't worry about which section that is, but start. Love it, love it, love it. So great. And then, Chris, is there anything you would add, any additional tips or things you're finding, or you want to add to that are really helping your clients bring their books forward?
So echo everything Martha just said. That is so true, and it makes me giggle when I think about we've had this book in us for a couple of years, and when we finally picked the date, all of a sudden the book started coming into fruition. So that was fun. The other thing is that have some folks who are on your team to motivate you and keep you moving forward. So if you don't have a business partner, you don't have a staff or somebody, let them know. Let them know that you're writing a book and what support means to you, so that they can support you and enjoy your journey. Because doesn't need to be a bad journey. It can really be, taking you to the next level in your work and, all those different pieces. So not only have a publisher that's so important, Rebecca and team were brilliant helping us. And so that's important. And I call them my 911 girls because they're always on 911 calls. And I have to have 4 of them because they're all really busy. So just having some support team and knowing what support means to you or a coach is super important.
Beautiful. I love that. So you don't end up isolated trying to bring this forward, but really building all that support around us. Yeah, life is not a solo journey. Yeah. Yeah, so important. And I love how you're saying what support means to you, not what support means to them, but being clear
Right.
on what it means to you. And then allowing that, sharing that, building that. Really, really beautiful. I love that. Great. So these are really powerful tips to help you bring your book forward. I hope that you took some great notes. And then I also wanted to just open up the floor for both Chris and Martha, but I'll let each know when. I would love them to share. Any final thoughts or tips as we're kind of reflecting back on the show today, either around leadership or around bringing your book forward? So with that, I'd love to start with Martha.
Perfect. Thank you. So here's the things that I would add. Writing the book is obviously important. If you don't have it, then the rest of this conversation doesn't really mean anything. However, when you write the book, you're not writing it just because you want to see your words in writing. You want to share them with people. You want to share your message. You want to change people's lives. I mean, that's the purpose of why most of us write a book, to make something happen for someone. And so what I would encourage you to do is not just think that this journey is writing a book. This journey is also marketing the book. Mm-hmm. And by setting a plan to market the book, and by the way, you can market before books are out. You can pre-sell before books are out. If you've never done this before, get someone like Rebecca and her team. Get someone on your team who can help you get the marketing done. There are book coaches who can help you with some of these things for writing, and then I look at people like you, Rebecca. You're more than just a coach because you also do for us. Mm-hmm. I always want people to understand the book really comes in 2 parts. It's about writing it, and it's about marketing it.
Exactly. No, thank you for sharing. And thank you. I'm very honored by your words as well. It was just a privilege and an honor to work with both of you and bring
We love working with you.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same. And to be part of something that can make such a powerful difference for all of our business and leaders out there was very meaningful to me. So I was very honored to be part of it. And I was smiling as you were saying, you can market before the book is out, because that's a myth. I so appreciate you busting that myth. Sometimes people wait till it's ready and they miss that whole window. So you're absolutely right. That marketing is so important before, during, and after. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Tips.
That's the way books go out the virtual door or the physical door.
Exactly. So I love that, and bringing in the experts, and you don't have to figure it out all on your own, and you can get that support. And then Chris, I wanted to see if you had anything you wanted to add as well, either around leadership or books or marketing or bringing them forward.
Our staff and team were talking this morning at our weekly meeting, and we were talking about the leaders that we have as clients, and what we were kind of how it evolved is we all are leaders. We're leaders in our families. We're leaders in our work. We're leaders in our thought leadership. So there's all these different areas that we lead, and it really is the time. And like both of you guys said before, is like the whole idea of small businesses is there's more small businesses and more revenue coming out of small businesses than anything else. And so it is the time for us to rise up and lead in ways we've never even dreamed of before. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's super important. And leading is all about your number one job is to rise up your team. And when your team's risen, you can take a day off and have a vacation.
Yay!
Yay!
I love that, but that was so inspiring, that reminder that we are leaders. So embracing that and rising up and creating that, and what a difference it can make in our lives and globally, heart by heart, life by life, business by business, leader by leader. Like, we can make a difference, and we are contributing so powerfully to the world and to the planet. So I think thank you for sharing that and that reminder. So exciting and so important. And then I wanted to make sure we have an opportunity for those who are like, I want this book, I need this book, I'm ready to rise up, or they're like, I just want to connect more and get support perhaps with their business too. So it could be their book, their business, or they want to add this to their library. Chris, what's the best way for them to do that?
So thanks, Rebecca. So Wide Awake Business, our URL is www.wideawakebusiness.com. Right on the homepage, right there, you can order the book. The hard copy book isn't available till probably late May. The Kindle version is out. It's still $9.97, so it's a lot cheaper than the hard copy book will be. And you can just go right on that front page, click on Buy the Book, and it'll click you over to all the different countries, and you'll be able to order the book. So that's the fastest, best way to order it. You can also look at our navigation bar on wideawakebusiness.com, and all three of our books are available. So there's Customers Are the Answer to Everything, which we published in 2012, still very appropriate and viable for this market today. And then we published our second book, which all of these books were Amazon bestsellers. And the second book, Customertopia, came out in 2019. And then Rise Up Leader is our new book that just came out on May 8th, International Women's Day.
Yay! I love that. And I know that was on purpose and by design, which was really exciting. Great. And then if they also wanted to connect in with you and Martha, is that still the best way, going to that site?
They can go to that site, and right at the bottom of the page is a number to get a hold of us. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. Many folks have done that over the past couple of months in interviews, so you can do it that way. Or you can just reach out to Chris at wideawakebusiness.com and get a hold of me, and we'll connect you with the right person.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And then, Martha, did you have anything you wanted to add to the contact information or social media or books?
I would say decide what is the first step for you, all of you. If it's go buy the book, because not only is the book something useful for you in terms of your own world, your own business, because if you're writing a book, you have a business, I want to say. If you're writing a book, you have a business. So what we've done can be both a role model for you, and as you look at the book, will give you guidance for your own leadership. And while we don't call ourselves book coaches, Rebecca, I would say that so many of our clients are in a position where they know that this material inside them that they've been working with tens, hundreds, thousands of people needs to get to hundreds of thousands of people. And so occasionally in the course of our work, we end up doing a little book coaching. So if any of that's up their alley, wideawakebusiness.com for the book, Chris at wideawakebusiness.com to get in touch with us.
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today and for sharing other great tips and advice for those looking to step into leadership more than business ownership, but into that leadership space, and those looking to bring your book and your message forward. Because if you have that calling on your life, that pull that, maybe I should write this down or share this out, I want to encourage you to bring it forward. There's a reason you feel that pull. There's a reason you feel that call, and that content is needed. That information is needed. It can make a difference. So find a way, build a plan to bring it forward. I encourage you to listen to this show again and write down those tips to support you on your journey in bringing your message forward. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.